But all of us, when we left FTI, who were seriously influenced by our stay at the FTI and the world cinema, and contemplating about the medium, we all started thinking about our own kind of film or cinema at that point. And we traversed through a path and arrived at something, not arrived at something. What kind of conscious thinking you had about kind of films you were going to make?
No, no, I should assume.
Hmm.
See, it's a different matter. Mani and Kumar and others used to keep coming as ex-students
Hmm.
to Film Institute. And Ritik Da would come and we will all tell them and generally be with them. And they were all tremendous influences. But should I work like how Kumar does? Or these things or...
No, I don't mean like that, but of your own.
Nothing. It's a mix, as I said earlier, of a kind of an inner persuasion
Yeah.
and the external circumstance. I've never tried to rectify all that, saying, oh my, what is this happening, And if I did like this, this will be the consequence. I have never been able to do it, and I'm reconciled and very, very glad that this is the path that was meant for me. I was only guided onto it by certain forces of circumstance, and there was a validation coming from my innateness, which I'm unable to, it's deeper down than our, talking sense and, logical sense and all that thing in the head. But there is something else also in human existence. And one needs to be careful, one needs to be not careful, one needs to be sensitive to allow it to be heard. Mostly we just quell it.
Yeah, true.
So I'm a product of circumstance and a kind of an intuition, which I am very glad that it happened this way to me, and not anywhere else.
Yeah, you've been very strong in certain ways.
I've been very, very lucky in certain ways. The other day we were saying, I've never struggled. I really haven't suffered, in that sense. There is dukkha and there is sukha. They together make life, This is a fabric of life. One can't, like all these new industrialists, maximize profit.
Production.
Maximize profit.
Profit.
Through production and this, that. Maximizing profit is at the cost of your environment. Is at the cost of the raw materials, of which we are made up of. So never tend to generally be very greedy about this or that.
And when one takes a decision, one should be prepared for the consequences.
One has to pay the price.
One has to pay the price.
One has to pay the price. I haven't made a feature film. Well, no problem. I am ready to make them now.
Yes.
You see, because the way I looked upon cinema is that you have no actual riyaz like in music. You have no actual guru. But life is there.
Yes.
And whatever practice you are doing, a consistency in that practice, whether it's blotchy, or you are not shooting and making movies every day.
True.
But it all sort of telescopes, and I've never really tried to hurry about my feature films. I said I must mature, I must be prepared, I must take it,
to a logical
leap of imagination, and generally a kind of a groping and generally a feeling of anxiety whether I'll be able to go to the other side, finish the movie and all that. It should come quite, naturally.
True.
As a certain, arohi or avrohi or something comes to...
It's a question of internalizing
And it should come,
Yeah.
spontaneously is the word I was looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm now ready for that.
yeah,
I'm looking for avenues of support.
yeah.
I have the scripts, and I'm ready for my features. And I'm not going to be greedy and say that the rest of my life I just want to go on making features and I want to, do this and that.
Yeah.
No, none of that. Just a couple of films.
Yeah. So even after 40 years, one is talking like fresh graduates who's ready to make films. That's wonderful.
In fact, I keep telling people, look, please don't think of me as an old man,
Yeah, exactly.
I am a guy who knows how to make movies.
Yeah,
I have made one movie at a time and I have looked for another. And today I am doing exactly the same. I make one movie at a time.
Yeah.
I devote myself to it.
basically what perhaps it means is that we have remained innocent in our own ways, and
In essence.
we were what we were then, and we are what we were,
No.
So
Now and then is no
now and then is nothing,
No trouble.
it's all there,
It's true.
Great. Zindabad. The shot which we just took, it was like a complete film in itself,
Yeah, it's a kind of it's the beginner's effort.
Yeah.
But I guess, the grandmasters, I can do it because you are here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you are giving me a foil. But I believe I was very impressed with this, that like Bresson, Antonioni, Godard and Truffaut and others were all assembled in Europe at one point of time. I remember, I don't remember where. But at the end of the festival or seminar or something, each one of them was asked to enter a blank room, given a key. And there is a camera there with a load of movie, with a load of negative, and there is light. And each one of them had to go inside that soundproof room and switch on the camera and make a statement
To the camera.
to the camera in total isolation. And they could say whatever they wanted to say. And what things these people have said, it's something which is a life statement, it's something which relates to state of cinema, it's something which relates to the state of society. What Antonioni said was about the advent of this new kind of technology and all that. These things were published later on, and I had occasion to read that Antonioni wala bit. And he was extremely hopeful for the future of cinema, It was a delight to read this.
Yes.
And I don't know what others would have said, but they are not bogged down,
Yeah, absolutely.
by any chance that these things have come and every Tom, Dick and Harry is making a movie.
Yes.
And like what happened in India, those who made art films and all, they started in that Varna Vyavastha. Some of us began to feel like we are the Brahmans,
Yes. It's true.
हम तो ब्राह्मण हैं, हम आर्ट फिल्म बनाते हैं, kind of a thing.
Yeah, it is true.
None of that is happening in Europe.
Yeah.
And these guys were going on, getting along in age. And they made their life statements in that particular event that was, it was constructed as part of a certain, I don't know where, festival, seminar, and these guys were brought together and they were asked to go in and make a statement. So for the future of cinema as an art, I promise you, I've read it and I know it, that there is no stopping it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is all passing fancy.
And if the technology which is available today, if used in the right direction, it can be a boon.
Still make a good change. Even we are, I think, in our own humble way.
Yeah, we are doing it.
We're making
It's
sense.
like making a series of films called one shot movie. On each person, only one shot is allowed. You put one cassette and see if the life history of that person can come through.
Yeah, Antonioni, I believe, was the most poised.
Yeah.
There was a write-up somewhere,
yeah.
and the way he went up to the camera in the end,
Yeah.
the way he switched it off.
Yeah. He was great.
Everything was described in the
Apart from the classical styles of Ozu and Bresson, I was most impressed by Antonioni cinema because he blended the realism with cinema, classical cinema in very nice way. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Polanski also.
Polanski also.
I mean, Knife
Some
in
of
the
the earlier
Water.
films, yes.
I can never forget that.
And some of the Czech and the East European films.
Sure, of course. yeah.
Absolute.
They opened a window, I mean, sociologically correct.
Correct, yes, yeah.
You see, you were not meant to generally go away with the breeze, and enjoy life for a while you're watching the movie.
Yeah.
You were meant to go through the life, of those people.
Absolutely.
Le Fou Follet.
La Fou Follet, one of the films of Louis Malle.
Louis.
Oh, it impressed me. I was in an asha for 3 days after seeing La Fou
Yeah.
Follet. Yes,
Yeah, indeed.
absolutely.
These are true to life films.
Absolutely.